Okay, so I have sketched my design. I will never claim to be the best artist, but I tried to do some grapes. And this is just for me, so, you know, it's not a biggie. It doesn't have to be perfect. So here I am. I'm just applying the underglaze. And, you know, it's somewhat forgiving. You know, my surface here is kind of bumpy, so I tried to make the cups that I'm sending to you relatively smooth, so this should be a little bit easier for you. I don't know if this will actually, you know, work out well or look nice, but I'll at least demonstrate how I did it. Now, one thing I think I forgot to tell you, when you're looking at your cup, this little rim in here, okay, you can actually put underglaze inside the smaller circle. Now, if yours is flat, I mean, you could, but I would leave it plain. If your foot is very shallow, I would leave it plain, okay? Because the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to mix up the glaze with the underglaze, because the underglaze won't stick, but the glaze will. And if it sticks to the shelf, then you have a problem. It damages the shelf, and it also will, you'll have to break the piece to get it off the shelf, or actually I will. So we don't want that to happen. So make sure that you leave this area here, this little, about the width of a paintbrush, okay? You want that to not have any glaze on it. And then the part that's gonna touch the shelf, that should not have any glaze on it. If your foot has a deep recess, you can put some in here, and that should not cause a problem. Of course, I will check everyone's, you know, cup to make sure, or, you know, try to make sure that that there aren't going to be any issues. But it's easiest if you just do it right the first time, and then that way I don't have to worry about whether or not something's going to stick to the shelf. So as you can see, these underglazes, which you'll have different ones, but it'll be the same brand. It'll just be different colors for the project that you'll be working on. You know, you just paint it on just like you're, you know, painting on a regular canvas. That's what's so nice about the underglaze. And you can add other colors to that, because the underglaze is very forgiving. The underglaze doesn't run like the glaze does. Think of it as melting. The glaze, the clear glaze that will go over this once it's completely dry, will actually melt a little bit, and that's why you don't want any glaze right here, or it'll run down and stick to the shelf, and then you have a problem. So do 2 to 3 coats of the underglaze. So, I mean, 3 would be very safe. 2, you might get some where it's a little bit see-through once it's fired, and any mistakes that you make are you know, I mean, they're okay. I mean, if it's not perfectly covered, that's fine, but everything gets exaggerated when you fire it, especially with the clear glaze. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put my 3 coats on this, and then I will show you how to put the clear glaze over top of this, because the design element, if you don't do it the right way, the clear glaze will lift that off, and then you have a different problem. So I'll show you that. It's not hard, but I'll come back and do that.